Alrighty, so to kick it off, let's just quickly recap a couple of different things before getting too much into it. So, when did you join SmarterQueue?
2 years ago.
Okay, so you've been with us for about 2 years now, and previously, how did you manage your social media?
I am laughing because I was a complete beginner in the social media world. I was not managing my social media, so I was just like all over the place.
Yeah.
An occasional post here and an occasional post there. So management would not be how I would describe what I was doing.
Okay. And let's see, what kind of metrics are you looking at to be able to evaluate how effective your social media strategy is? Is it higher engagement or traffic?
Well, I'm looking at traffic to my site. I'm looking at higher engagement. I'm also looking at new members in my private Facebook community. And I'm also looking at leads that are coming into my business, my health and wellness business.
Okay, great. So let's get into some more of a little bit of background on you. So could you briefly introduce yourself, tell us about your business, what you do, and the kind of value you bring to the market?
All right, so I'm Dr. Carol Penn. I'm doubly board certified in family medicine and obesity medicine. I'm also a master movement, meditation, and mindset coach. I'm the author of a best-selling book, Meditation in a Time of Madness, a guidebook for talented teens, tweens, their parents, and guardians who need to thrive. So my day job, if you will, I work in an office. I see patients. I'm a family medicine doctor and an obesity medicine specialist. So I see your day-to-day patient in a traditional office practice. But in the night, when I take off my white coat and put on my cape, I turn into a global health and wellness expert through my company, Penn Global Visions.
Awesome. Alrighty, so you touched on this a little bit before, but how were you managing your social media before? I know there wasn't much of that, but what were the main pain points with how you were trying to do your social media? What were the problems you were looking to solve?
Well, part of it, I'm a newbie to the entrepreneurial world. So I was trying to solve, well, how do I reach the people that I want to serve, and how do they connect with me? And how do I do it across multiple platforms without having to spend hours and hours and hours each day to put out my message, to share images, to get information. So SmarterQueue was the place where I could pull all of that together and then also get the metrics and the feedback as to who is doing what, who is responding to what, and who is looking at what I was doing.
Alrighty, and what results have you achieved since using SmarterQueue?
Oh my goodness, I would have to say the results have been pretty exponential. So in terms of my superpower and my company, Penn Global Visions, it's really introduced me to the world. I have connected with people and gotten in front of an audience that I otherwise would not have been able to reach. And I think part of having a successful business, particularly a business that's in the transformation world and a business where you want to be the change you want to see in the world, you need to be able to get in front of a new audience almost on a daily basis. And SmarterQueue allows me to do that.
Wow, that's amazing. So what areas of your business have improved? And do you have any kind of metrics or ROI, anything ballpark metrics to quantify that?
Yes, so the areas that have improved in terms of the ROI, certainly I have seen exponential growth in my community, particularly in my Facebook community, and actually across all of them, across Twitter, across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And that, to me, is right there, the return on investment. So when I have people reaching out to me and they want to know more about my company, they want to know more about what I'm doing, they want to know more about what I see as important and valuable in the world, that's the return in investment. Anytime someone asks me a question and they saw, wow, I saw your Facebook Live, or I saw your affirmations today, or I read your blog. That to me is the return on investment, and that's very, very powerful. And SmarterQueue, of course, sends you your metrics weekly, frequently. You could just go there and see quantifiably, what have I been doing and who am I reaching?
Absolutely. So, where did you first hear about SmarterQueue and what kind of piqued your interest?
Well, actually, I heard about SmarterQueue from my business coach. So, I'm a person, before I was a doctor, I was a dancer. So I'm used to having masterful teachers help me perfect who I am as a performer. And that didn't go away when I went to medical school. I relied on my professors who became my mentors because I wanted to be masterful as a medical professional. And so coming out of medical school and going into the profession of medicine, I also wanted to be masterful in the profession of medicine. I also wanted to be entrepreneurial. So rather than reinvent the wheel and make a lot of mistakes on my own, I said, let me get myself a business coach. So it was my business coach who told me about SmarterQueue and recommended it highly.
Okay. And when you first kind of looked into SmarterQueue, what helped you decide to pull the trigger and go with your business coach's advice of using us?
Well, because the teaching was, who's your avatar? Who are you trying to reach? And how are you going to reach them? And do you have a plan? Well, I couldn't answer in the affirmative as to what my plan would be for reaching my audience. And so I accepted the advice. I took the coaching. I went on the site. I looked at the company. And frankly, I was pretty blown away with the brand promises of the company. And I said, you know what? I started with a trial, and everything that was promised by SmarterQueue was delivered and then some. And then I said, they've got me. I'm a customer and I want to grow with the company and really learn all of what SmarterQueue can do, because it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, awesome. So describe what it's like having a SmarterQueue subscription and what the features are that give you the most value.
Oh my goodness, I would have to say, right now, I still feel like I'm a baby, or maybe I'm a toddler in SmarterQueue, but some of the features that give the most value are just the ability to post content. You can both post content that is evergreen, so you don't have to keep generating, but you can also create new content within SmarterQueue itself. And I love that. You create it, it's there, it goes out to your audience, and you get the instant feedback.
Awesome. So you've touched on this a bit, but how likely are you to recommend SmarterQueue, and why should someone listening take action now instead of waiting?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely am I to recommend SmarterQueue? I'd have to say it's a 10 plus. Because it really does deliver what it promises that it's going to deliver, and then some. And then there's also the, behind the scenes, the support. So talking to someone like you, my goodness, you even get to talk to the founder of SmarterQueue, who wants to and will connect and will teach you live in person. What companies do that? We actually get involved and talk with the founders. So that is very, very impressive, and it feels very, very supportive. So the behind the scenes support is invaluable. And what advice would I give in terms of a person now versus wait? If you have a business, if you have an audience to reach, particularly with what's going on in the world right now, you don't want to wait. This probably is not going to happen again in our lifetime in terms of a global pandemic. So if you have a positive message that you want to share, this is the time for visionary voices and positive people, and people who want to be the change we want to see in the world and need to see in the world. This is our time. Don't wait.